he's going to be saying, just imagine what he would have done to him with a full camp if he's beat him on 2 days' notice. So, yeah, very, very intriguing. And one final thought on this, right? The fact that this fight is happening, to me, is indicative of the way Frank Warren views Joseph Parker. Frank Warren promotes him. Do you seriously think that if Joseph Parker had pulled out on fight week, Frank Warren would have allowed, yes, I'm going to use the word allowed. Do you think Frank Warren would have allowed Daniel Dubois to fight Martin Bakole? Because in my opinion, there is absolutely no way in hell, no way on God's green earth would Frank Warren have been okay with Dubois fighting Martin Bakole as a last-minute replacement. I mean, am I buzzing here? Am I tripping? I think that Joseph Parker is one of these fighters for Frank Warren who he uses as cannon fodder to some extent, as a sacrificial lamb, as somebody who can act as a buffer between his cash cow fighters and the danger men out there. He'll put them in the way first. Oh, fight this guy. Fight Joe Parker first. Then maybe down the line, you'll get a shot at Daniel Dubois. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, in my personal opinion, there is absolutely no way. If Parker had been the one to have pulled out, there's no way that Warren would have been willing to put Dubois in with Bakole. Even though Bakole ain't had a camp and all that kind of stuff, I just can't see it. I think Frank Warren sees Daniel Dubois as being far too precious for that. Shout out to Workstation for the super chat. Much appreciated. He says, I know I take the mick out of Captain Nosehair, but I do rate Bakole. As you mentioned, he's similar in style to Jarrell Miller, but more technical. And I think this jovial attitude he has towards boxing makes him a threat. Well, yeah, he does certain things similar to Miller, but I don't think they're that similar stylistically. They're both enormous men who come forward and throw loads of shots and put you under pressure. So they're similar in that way. But yeah, I think that Bakole is a lot more dimensional. I think he's got a better boxing brain. I think he's more creative with his offense. Jarrell Miller's very, very basic. You know, he comes forward, walks you down, bullies you, not really a serious puncher. Martin Bakole, I think, hits a lot harder than Jarrell Miller. And I mentioned this in a previous video or live stream, but there was a time when Jarrell Miller was in the Tyson Fury camp in Morecambe. There's pictures of it. And there was a video clip of Jarrell Miller. He appeared to be coming out of the gym, and he said that he just got his butt kicked in sparring. Now, at the time, I assumed that Tyson Fury had kicked his butt. But it turns out it was actually Martin Bakole. Yeah, Martin Bakole apparently bashed up Jarrell Miller in Tyson Fury's gym in Morecambe. And that is why Jarrell Miller was so certain that Martin Bakole was going to beat Jared Anderson. If you remember in the run-up to that fight, during fight week, there was a confrontation between Jarrell Miller and Jared Anderson's team, and there was some beef between the two fighters. And Jarrell Miller kept saying, Bakole's going to destroy this guy. Because he found out himself firsthand from sparring Martin Bakole that the guy's dangerous. So yeah, Martin Bakole's very strong. And one of the things that really impresses me about Bakole is the ferocity of his attacks. Like for a big guy like that with a big pot belly, 300 pounds plus in some fights. In fact, maybe 300 pounds is the highest he's been. Let me just check his box rec here. Gonna go in.